Step up in the building. I ain't been live in a minute. Yo, what's good, Freedom Marchers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrus Bane. Welcome to the Definition of Anarchy. It is Sunday, January 2nd, 2021. A lot of people like to think it's the new year, but it's not. The new year, for me, isn't until the spring equinox, but that's another story. I don't know why they would call the new year in the dead of winter, but, you know, they like to play those games. Not me. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? Yep. If you read the title, you read it correctly. Guess who allegedly, according to a test, had the Modelo 19? Me. But, you know, it's just a test, right? So somebody at work was sick and they took off. And this is a guy that, my apprentice. This is my apprentice who I had been working with for the last few days before he took off. He got sick and took off work for a few days. And then I think it was Friday evening last Friday, not this past Friday that just happened, but the one before that. My foreman hit us up and was like, yeah, he tested positive for Modelo 19. He's sick, blah, blah, blah. So we all had to get tested in order to determine if we can come back to work. But, you know, I didn't have any symptoms, right? At all. Like, I was off work this whole past week and didn't have one symptom. But I did test positive with one of them little 15-minute antigen tests because I wasn't about to go up to nobody's healthcare facility. I wasn't about to go up to CVS or nowhere or no Subway to get a Modelo 19 test. So I had to scrounge around for these tests, man, because there's so much panic going around with the Omicron, right? So the Omicron variant has everybody scared as hell. So, I mean, some of the guys that I work with, so it wasn't just me that had to take off work. It was like 3 other guys. And they all tried to go get the test at like Kaiser or a hospital or, you know, one of those testing sites. And trying to do the walk-in, nobody. I mean, it was like 3-hour-long lines everywhere they went. So I was like, man, I ain't doing all that bullshit. And plus, I ain't about to be in nobody's system with no test. So took the home test. I was actually able to find one. I went to like 4 or 5 different stores. They didn't have it. Then I finally got a hold of somebody who did have one. But anyway, took the test. It came out positive or whatever. But like I said, your boy didn't have any symptoms. But I will say, my kids got sick. All my kids. Actually, they started getting sick a couple days after old boy took off. So, you know, they got sick, mostly like coughs. A couple of them had fever, stomach ache, headache, all the things that they say come along with the Modelo 19. So my kids did get sick. My wife didn't get sick, and she's actually sitting right here next to me because we're both going to the farm. I'm not showing you. She's shy. She don't want me to show her. But anyway, my wife didn't have any symptoms. Did you have symptoms? No, she didn't have any. Just my kids. So that was fun. But I was able to get a lot of shit done during the week because, you know, we're moving out of California. So we actually have movers coming on the 10th. So we've been scrambling to get shit done before they come. So I was actually able to get some shit done. Not as much as I wanted to, but I still got a week, and it is what it is. So yeah, your boy had supposedly had the Modelo 19, had no symptoms. My kids had some symptoms, but they're over it now. Like, they're pretty much done. Like, they're all good now. And as far as, I took another test yesterday, and that came out negative. So a few days, maybe like 4 or 5 days after the first test, I took another one, tested negative. So we're good there. I worked out every day, pretty much. I will say one thing. There was a day or two where I was working out and my heart rate rose faster than normal, right? It rose, because I work out, I do a lot of cardio, a lot of hard cardio, and I ride the bike and all that shit. I do my Muay Thai and my boxing drills, and then I'll do some calisthenic work, push-ups and pull-ups and shit, and then I'll hit the bike. I will say, I think it was Wednesday and Thursday, I got winded faster. I got winded a little bit faster, and my heart rate got higher faster than normal, right? Whereas normally it would take, like a few minutes, depending on what I'm doing, for my heart rate to reach like 150, 160 beats per minute. Yes, on Wednesday and Thursday, I was just doing push-ups. And just doing push-ups and pull-ups. My heart rate was hitting 160 something after doing like 20 reps of push-ups. That shit don't happen normally. That shit don't normally happen. So I guess you could call that a symptom, if you want to call it that. I just call it, maybe my body was fighting something, and maybe my body was fighting something, and it taxed my body a little bit more just doing my normal workout. But I was still able to complete the workout. I wasn't stressing. See, one thing, a lot of people would panic, right, if their heart rate rose that high, that fast, and it's not normal. You start, oh, what's wrong with me? And you start stressing. Now, I was like, you know what? Maybe my body is fighting something, and, exercising is taxing it a little bit more. And one thing I will say, my heart rate took a while to get to anaerobic zone. So basically, my anaerobic zone is about 100 beats per minute. So normally, like if I hit 170 beats per minute, and I'll slow down, or I stop doing what I was doing to get that high, maybe like 30 seconds or even less, it would drop back down to 100. But this time, it took like 2 or 3 minutes for my heart rate to drop from 156, according to my watch. But it is what it is. But Friday I did my workout, and I was good. I was back to normal. But so that's it. That's my Modelo 19 story. Not a big deal. Did my normal workout. I didn't go to work, but because I really couldn't, because of the the protocols and all that shit. And yeah, so I survived it. I kicked his ass, and now I'm negative. So, and I didn't really take anything outside of the norm. Outside of the normal supplements I take, I didn't really take anything. What I did was, I did add a little bit more zinc, right? So I already take zinc, but I added a little bit more zinc to kind of like boost my immune system even more. give it more ammunition to fight with. That's pretty much it. You know, I just added more zinc and did everything else I normally do. I already, there's a stuff I'll take called Armra. It's basically colostrum, which is an immune boosting property. And that, I'll be taking that. I just normally take certain shit that already boosts my immune system. So I didn't really have to change anything up. Like I said, I just added a little bit more zinc, and that was it. Because if you look at, there are studies that show that good amounts of zinc offers hella protection against really any sickness, right? Any virus, anything like that, any cold, flu. Zinc really helps your immune system fight that shit. And it really helps, so they say, with this so-called Medela 19 that's going around. So, yeah, zinc, you know, but they're not telling people that. They're not telling people, oh, you should be taking zinc, vitamin D, but that's proven to improve your chances of not being hospitalized or having a severe case of Medela 19. It's proven. And for some reason, they want to stick to this, the hokey pokey. I didn't have the hokey pokey. You know what's funny? My brother is fully snapped and boosted. And he had Medela 19 the same time I did. He told me, as a matter of fact, last Wednesday, that's when he tested positive. And he had symptoms. I had 0 symptoms. But he's fully snapped. I'm not snapped at all. So, I mean, I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's an anecdotal case, right? That's anecdotal information, but it is what it is. My brother, who's fully snapped, fully and boosted, got the Medela 19 last week, or tested positive, and had symptoms. I tested positive. I had 0 symptoms aside from my heart rate. You know what I'm saying? The heart rate thing, which, okay, that might be considered a symptom, but it is what it is. I consider that just to be your body my body was telling me that it was doing something, right? At that point in time. At that point in time when I was working out, my body was probably going up against something. And I actually believe that me working out helped my body fight whatever might have been inside of me that they're calling the Medela 19. I'm still not conceding that, oh yeah, Medela 19 is what they say it is. No. I know there's something going around that they want to call Medela 19. But could it be the cold? Could it be the flu? Could it be something else they hijacked and put a new name to? I have no idea. But it is what it is. And that just makes me want to talk about Anthony Frosty, man. So yeah, like I said, my brother had Medela 19, fully snapped, boosted, had symptoms. I had zero snaps, no Vaseline for me, not vacillated at all, and I had no symptoms, pretty much. But anyway, Anthony Frosty, man, let me tell you, man. Anthony Frosty, I'm pretty sure you guys know about this. This guy comes out and basically says what we have been saying for almost 2 years. What people would tell us, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a fearmonger, you're this, that, you're that, calling us out for stating the shit that Anthony Frosty finally comes out and says about cases, about hospitalizations and all that other shit. If I were, before that, if I were to say, and probably even still today, YouTube might strike my video for it, because I use code words. You know what I'm saying? I don't actually call it what it is. But if I were to say that a lot of the people that are hospitalized, including children that are hospitalized with Medela 19, aren't there because of Medela 19. They just happen to be testing positive for it when they go to the hospital. If I were to say that and use the real word that starts with a C, I would get my video taken down for medical misinformation. But here comes Anthony Fauci, who tells people, who tells an interviewer, yo, well, a lot of these cases where children are in the hospital, they're not in there because of Modelo 19. They're in there for like a broken leg or, some type of surgery. They're in there for a whole different other reason than Modelo 19. They just happen to test positive for it. This is the type of shit that we have been telling people for almost 2 years. Even about the deaths. They say the same thing about the deaths. That just because you die, if you die with Modelo 19, they're going to call that a Modelo 19 death. Right? That's what they said. They said that early in the pandemic. But that's the type of shit that would get you banned and get your video struck down and all the other shit. Just by saying that. Me saying that type of stuff would get my video, the algorithm would go haywire and they'd cancel me and all this other shit. But here comes Anthony Fauci confirming what we have all been saying for the longest time. This shit's kind of crazy to me, man. And so that just lets us know, like, this thing wasn't as big a deal as they made it out to be. And they're realizing that people understand this. They know that people are coming to the realization that, oh, they blew this Modelo 19 thing out of proportion. They blew it up. They did all kind of crazy shit in the name of protecting us from Modelo 19. And they understand that we're coming to that realization. And so they're trying to hedge their bets, and they're performing damage control by saying, oh, it's not really those cases, a lot of them, they're in the hospital for something else. They just happen to have Modelo 19. And remember, they were talking about how Modelo 19 patients were overwhelming hospitals, right? They were saying, people with Modelo 19 who aren't vaccinated, they're overcrowding hospitals and this, that, and the third, and they're making it a big deal, and they're calling it the pandemic of the unsnapped and all this other shit. And they're trying to make us feel guilty and demonize non-GMO people. And then it turns out Anthony Fauci says what we've been saying. Why is it different now? It had to be the same situation back then when they were trying to say that we were overwhelming hospitals. Most of those people were there for some other reason than Modelo 19. They just happened to test positive for Modelo 19. And of course, if you test positive for Modelo 19 in the hospital, no matter what you're there for, they're going to call you a Modelo 19 hospitalization case and get that money. You understand what I'm saying? So they kill two birds with one stone. They get to make some money, right, off of the hospitalizations, and they get to demonize unvaccinated people. This is what they're doing. Anthony Fauci comes out and just confirms that whole scenario, and no one's it's not, the news isn't making a big deal. Mainstream media isn't saying anything about it. They're just like, oh, well, this is what Anthony Fauci says. Like, no one's calling him out. It's just kind of crazy. But I'm gonna read a couple comments and I'm gonna get out of here. Ohead Deuce 22 was good. Marcy T, what's going on? You had a cold, first one in 2 years. Excuse me. Took some extra vitamin C. That's what's up. You stupid fool says it's all good. You let the old science work, which is letting the immune system work. And you're better. It isn't like we never had a cold. It's not even that I got better. I had nothing to get better from. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the only thing is with like the elevated heart rate. But it wasn't because I was just walking or standing up. I was actually exercising. And I noticed that I got winded a little faster, right? And my heart rate rose higher a little faster. So Facebook censors Thomas Paine quote as false information in an online FBI Facebook communism book burning in the future. I would not put it past Facebook to try to harm you and your family. Yeah, it's just crazy. Nicolette Moore was good. Florona, what's that? Oh my God. All right, Naja Eddie, you're out of here. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hit that like button on the way out, people. But first, Nicolette Moore, what's Florona? What is that? Does it have to do with the Rona in Florida? You start to hear about it. Flu mixed with CV. The flu mixed with the CV now. That's what they're trying to say. It's mixing with the CV. Black Spring Autumn was good. I wouldn't put it past him. What was it? Yep, what was it? The flu with Tecate. Whatever they got to do, right? Whatever they got to do. Whatever they got to do what they want to do. The people are crazy. They say they have a new Rona in Israel, a new strain. Oh my God. It's never going to end. It's never going to end. Israel's going to have a new strain. You know, most of their population, I want to say about 90% now or more, is vaccinated. So how did that happen? What? What? Oh, man. You put them in the wagon. So they have a new strain coming out of Israel now. They have 47 injections scheduled in total. Yeah, that's yep. They're adding new injections every year. Israel has most of their people are vaccinated. So where are these mutations coming from to create these variants in Israel? If that's the case, that's what you got to ask. Is the mutation coming from the vaccinated people? If most of the people in Israel are vaccinated, is it easier for the virus to mutate if they are infecting vaccinated people? Because the Vaseline recognizes like 2 proteins, right? Whereas natural immunity, right? The natural antibodies, they recognize up to 25 or something like that. 25 proteins that they can attack, that they can recognize to deal with the Modelo 19 virus, which makes it a much more powerful immunity. You know, a stronger immunity than with vaccinated immunity. Oh, by the way, I got my let's go Brandon. Abaddon. Oh, Abaddon? Is that what you think the new strain is gonna be? We'll see. I think people are getting tired of this. I mean, I think they're like they're already saying like the Omicron is probably gonna end the pandemic. So we'll see. All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and I'm holla at y'all later. Probably holla at y'all tomorrow. Peace.